Our world is rife with secrets and mysteries. The more we learn about nature of land and sea and everything in between, we also learn that we don't know much about the world. From amazing creatures to man-made buildings that leave us in awe in the present day, there is still so much that we are trying to figure out and understand about our history. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious and ancient discoveries. "13 mysterious mummies discovered in Egyptian well." Ancient Egyptians were known for the incredible care, craftsmanship, and wealth that they invested in the burial of their rulers. However, not all residents of Egypt were quite so elaborate in the locations of final resting places. Recently, 13 ancient coffins were discovered stacked inside a burial well in the ancient necropolis of Saqqara. Although they have not yet been opened to discover who might lay inside, the 2,500-year-old wooden coffins are so well preserved that their intricately painted, multicolored designs are still visible. They also still retain their original seals, indicating that grave robbers or weather has likely left the contents of the coffins entirely undisturbed. Saqqara is an expansive desert necropolis and pyramid complex that borders the first Egyptian capital of Memphis and is the site of many ancient burial locations, including the famous Step Tomb, which is the oldest complete stone building complex known in history, as well as a number of other mastaba tombs, several of which belonged to pharaohs. Although these coffins were not found in a magnificent pyramid, their incredibly well-preserved state will provide valuable information about the lives and fortunes of those who were not wealthy enough to secure such a lavish final resting place. The burial well in which the discovery was made descended 40 feet into the ground, with the coffins stacked on top of one another. Archaeologists hope that as they excavate the site further, they will find even more pristine preserved coffins buried in niches lining the well. During the time that the inhabitants of these coffins would have been alive, Egypt was under Persian rule as part of the Persian Empire, who invested largely in revitalizing the tumultuous empire, strengthening the economy and allowing the country to once again begin to thrive. These efforts also likely helped to preserve some aspects of Egyptian culture that might have otherwise been lost to war and upheaval. Hopefully, these finds can give us a glimpse into what life was like under Persian rule. Because of the large number of pharaohs and prominent citizens of the early first and second ruling dynasties buried in and around Saqqara, as well as animals and other human remains, finds in this region are carefully excavated and studied for the valuable information that they may contain regarding ancient Egyptian life and civilization. And these carefully preserved coffins are sure to be a treasure trove of information. It seems that the discoveries made about ancient Egypt are never-ending, and that we will be uncovering incredible wonders for years to come. In the meantime, we must continue examining and attempting to interpret what we do discover so that we can begin to understand that amazing empire that dominated the Nile River Valley for so long. Young female hunter uncovered. Archaeologists yet again uncovered a skeleton. This time, they realized they had found the bones of a 9,000-year-old young woman who looked like a big game hunter. Perhaps this meant that hunter-gatherer women were more common than previously thought and could bring down even larger animals, like visuna and deer. However, at first, researchers thought that they had unearthed a man. The skeleton was surrounded with projectile points and stone tools, yet once they did more research, they realized that the bones were lighter than a typical man and that the proteins in the skeleton's dental enamel confirmed that the bones were of a woman, aged between 17 and 19 years old. This was yet another confirmation that proved that female participation in big game hunting was more normal than first thought. After looking at the records of about 429 burials across the Americas around the late Pleistocene and early Holocene epochs, the team identified 27 people buried with such big game hunting tools. So where did the concept of man the hunter come from? Perhaps it first came from the studies of a few hunter-gatherer societies where the men usually hunted big animals while the women gathered more fruits and plant foods. As a result, many scholars thought that this division between hunters and gatherers according to gender was universal. However, this uncovered female skeleton alone is changing the tide and challenging our most ingrained gender norms 9,000 years later. Dinosaur fossil of a titanosaur may belong to the largest land animal ever. When you think of a large dinosaur, you might immediately think of the Tyrannosaurus rex, with its large body and sharp teeth, perfect for being at the very top of the food chain. However, there might be an even larger land animal. In the region of Patagonia in Argentina, rich with awe-inspiring vistas and fossils, there are many deposits of bones that have been unearthed to reveal the existence of huge dinosaurs that once lumbered around the river deltas. Among smaller findings, paleontologists spent years since 2015 carefully excavating what they believe to be the vertebrae and pelvic bones of a mysterious giant sauropod. Sauropods are dinosaurs that characteristically have long necks and long tails that walk on all fours and eat plants. Even though researchers have not unearthed the entire skeleton, they already have reason to believe that this might be the largest animal to ever set foot on Earth. These fossils were first found in a rock formation called the Candeleros Formation. It came to be when sediment settled in the area from a river floodplain during the Upper Cretaceous period from over 98 million years ago. With rock that old, careful excavation becomes difficult. Because paleontologists do not want to risk breaking the bones in any way, they painstakingly brush away at the rock. Even though most of it still has not been excavated, the team already has uncovered 27 vertebrae from the sauropod's tail, along with pelvic and pectoral girdle parts. However, it is already visually apparent that the dinosaur is no ordinary fossil. According to Dr. Alejandro Otero, the bones are between 10 and 20% bigger than the fossils of many previous large dinosaurs found. Now, they know it's a titanosaur, which is a type of sauropod. A titanosaur is a sauropod that has been found in fossil beds all over the world, but none as large have been found as in Patagonia. For instance, the Argentinosaurus reached a staggering weight of more than 110 tons, with a height of 20 meters and was 40 meters in length. The newly discovered fossil seems to tower above them all. It's also suggested to be more than 120 feet long. However, researchers can't be sure of the weight until the load-bearing bones, such as the femur and the humerus, are unearthed. Yet, for as big as this sauropod could possibly be, it still fails to stand up to the largest animal in our planet that still exists with us today. Except it's not on land. It's the blue whale that reigns supreme, reaching lengths as long as 30 meters and weighing upwards of 200 tons. It seems that only time will tell as paleontologists continue to work on unearthing this giant, once-walking mystery to understand the greatness of this animal. But what do you make of these 3 recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.